Blessings on you all, and happy belated Mother's Day to all who qualify. Welcome to another installment of the URP Practical Talk. I'm your host, Pastor Wendell Jeffrey. For a packed program today, for you in the studio with me is the party leader, our beloved Dr. Vishnu Bandhu. But before we hear from Dr. Bandhu, let's get into our segment, Talking Practically. I once pastored a very wealthy businessman while I was in the US, and he had a phrase he liked to use. He would say that your first loss should be your greatest loss. Your first loss should be your greatest loss, meaning that you should not throw good money behind bad money. If you make a bad investment, you don't invest more money trying to correct the bad investment. This current administration seems very desperate to find any significant amount of criminal wrongdoings of the PPP leaders. And it seems as if no amount of spending will be spared at finding any area of criminal misconduct of Mr. Jagdeo and his allies. And so we have the Special Organized Crime Unit, the SOCU. We have the State Asset Recovery Unit, SARU. Plus we have the Financial Intelligence Unit, the FIU. Of course, we have the revival and the new passage of legislation for the anti-money laundering bill, the AML. In addition to this, we have learned recently that the AG and the Legal Affairs Ministry will now add a number, about 5 legal luminaries to its payroll. Not forgetting that hundreds of millions of dollars have already been spent on financial audits, all targeting the misappropriation of and fraudulent conversions of funds of those who were working under the last administration. When the dust is settled, this new administration would have spent billions of dollars trying to recover the billions of dollars that they are claiming was stolen by the leaders of the last administration. We are all hoping that this administration, this current administration, knows what it's doing. We hope that when the final tally is made, we don't find that this government would have thrown good money after bad money. And that's talking practically. Dr. Vishnu, how you doing, buddy?
Fine, thank you. Fine, thank you.
You went up there, you dipped out a little bit from the country here.
Yes, for a little
And
while.
you did a little cross-country hopping
Yep,
across North America.
yes.
You had some meetings, I understand. You had several meetings. How did that go? Give us give the viewers a brief overview of how that went.
Before I say that, I myself would like to join you in wishing all of our mother a belated happy Mother's Day. As you know, in my book, Mother's Day is every day.
Of course.
But the Western world make it commercialized so
Yes.
that one special day for business.
Yes, sir.
So happy Mother's Day to all of our mother, and wish you well, and may God protect each and every one of you. Yes, Pastor, I went out for a little while, a few days, and I went and I had meeting in Canada. I had meeting also in New York with our groups. It was very, very encouraging.
Okay.
You know, our group had a fundraising in New York, as I had mentioned. It was very successful.
Right.
I had a lot of businesses and so forth, business people who had approached me. We had meetings
Okay.
from New Jersey, from New York, Connecticut, and other places.
Wow.
We also I had some very interesting meeting also in Toronto.
Yes, sir.
You know, yeah, very, very interesting, and people have been showing their willingness to help the URP.
Okay.
You know, so the URP seems like we are getting somewhere overseas.
What is who are you, are you targeting any particular group? What is your pitch? Is your pitch for you to glean folks who might be dissenting from the some of the current parties? Are you looking for objective Guyanese? Are you looking for those who might not have gotten involved in the political arena over the years? What's your target group?
Well, my target is really for mostly objective Guyanese, people who are very much concerned, who are open-minded,
Okay.
who want to see a better life
Okay.
for our people in Guyana. And I am targeting people who are really trying to be very sincere,
Okay.
honest people, sincerity. We must not look at race, and we must not look at elsewhere. We must look at Guyana.
I was gonna ask that.
Yeah,
I was gonna ask if there is a racial if you have any racial preference, and if so, why, and if not, what has been your response? Are you gleaning a cross section of Guyanese from the diaspora? Is that what is happening as you
Yes.
travel overseas?
Yes, definitely, definitely. In fact, our fundraising, we had quite a few of Afro-Guyanese
Beautiful.
who were there. Our DJ was Afro-Guyanese. Our cameraman was Afro-Guyanese. Our person who were looking at the door was Afro-Guyanese,
Beautiful.
Cindy.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
And all these. And in fact, our cameraman, he is also a pastor.
Okay.
He is a URP person in New York.
Yes.
So we had quite a few people, and I must congratulate the executive committee in New York.
Okay.
Which is Vishwanath be heading that, and you had Elaine. Elaine is the vice president. We got Cindy in it. We have Pastor Noel,
Okay.
Radha, Nalu,
Wow.
Sunita, all these people. We have Dr. Kumar too, and
Do you help him to coordinate?
yes,
Coordinate.
they are all the top brass in the thing, and they have done a wonderful job. I must congratulate them,
Okay.
for the job that they have been doing. I was surprised that the fundraising had come out so successful,
Beautiful.
and with the amount of people that shows up
And
there.
you were this far out from the statutory election period. You could well imagine what will happen as the election cycle really heats up. If you're getting this much support this far away from the statutory time for the next election, I guess you're very excited as you forecast.
What made me more excited, because at the fundraising they had people who had been supporting the AFC was there, people who had been supporting the PNC was there, people who had been supporting the PPP was there. So it was very exciting. In fact, when I give my presentation, the DJ, an Afro-Guyanese, live a long time from me, he said, Dr. Mandu, I never was involved in any political party, and so, but when I listen to you, and I'm definitely coming aboard
Beautiful.
with the URP.
Beautiful. Beautiful.
So we had made some inroad, and I was very excited with the trip, because the trip has done good, because people had wanted to meet with me and things like that. And it was very successful.
Beautiful.
I'm very pleased with what took place.
Well, it's very heartening to hear your report, because what we know is that to a large extent it is the diaspora that supports the local parties and cause them to be able to fund their political outreaches here in Guyana.
Yeah.
So if you are tapping into that kind of personnel and resources, it augurs well for what is to come for the URP as we move forward. When you came back, Doc, you were one of the speakers at the National Convention for the Cultural Committee in honor of the
Plantation,
indentureship.
plantation highbury.
Yeah. How did that go? I understand that President Granger was the featured speaker there. How did that go?
Well, it was very, very nice. I was invited to go there as a speaker, and when I land there in my car, they shuttle me and put me to sit next to the Prime Minister, Moses Nagamudu.
He's a friend of yours, huh?
Everybody is my friend. You know, everybody is my friend. But that doesn't mean I can't say the thing that what is not happening right.
Well, that's what friendship is about. I
You
mean,
know,
if I
yes,
can't tell my friend
right.
that he's
And
wrong, then
yeah.
he's not really my friend.
So I spoke there. I spoke in front of President Granger.
Okay.
People had give me a very big rounds of applause because I spoke freely. I said about its administration also. I added to it that, you know, the Wales estate has closed down. Now they're going to close down the Enmore and the Rosal Kanji estate. These things should be stopped because what had been happening today is that when you close these estates, there are so many wrong things that are happening that our people are going astray. You know, people are wandering. There's so much stress. You know, people are getting sick, out knowing that they'll be out of a job. They wouldn't have a daily bread to
Doc, off the camera, off the camera, you were telling me something. You were saying that one has to understand the mental state of the sugar workers, because what you were saying is that since the days of indentureship, these people, all they did were work. All they did for employment were to work on the plantation,
Definitely,
in the sugar arena.
Yes.
So now that they are hearing of all these closing down, when all they know, their grandfather, their father, all they know is this. You were explaining to me from a subjective position of what might be going on in the head of these people. Take a time and explain that to the viewers.
Well, what I was saying, as you rightly said, that's all what they know about their life. They have built their life through the sugar industry. When they came from India, indentured labor, that's what all they have been doing, and they educate their children. They send them. Their children become doctors and lawyers. You know, and in our profession, they build their nice, beautiful homes. And now to know that the daily bread what you were earning from this sugar industry will be closed, now you start to get crazy. You're thinking crazy.
Right. And then you're saying also
And,
that not only that they are going to phase out a lot of these plantations and hence the employment that come with it, but there is no concrete transition, and that also complicates the situation, because a person, you might tell a person, okay, we're going to close you down here, you're going to be unemployed here, but this is what we plan to do. You're saying that there is no succession in the planning. You talked about that also.
you see, yes, I was talking about that because what had happened, government is saying for the number of years that we are bailing out the sugar industry. Fairly good, you're bailing out the sugar industry, but even so, that the money that you bail them out with, the money is not going overseas, it's spending right back in your country to make these people happy. Now, if the sugar industry is really not doing well, then we know from our side, we know it's bad management, making sugar industry not working. Because in our country here, we don't have very good managers.
Okay.
You know, we are underpaid. People, because they're underpaid, they start stealing, they start to do all these kind of things. But okay, if government insists of closing the estate, don't close the estate. We have seen in the whole world that the private industry always make it. Right? Why don't we sell it to private industries instead of closing the estate? Now, if you insist on closing the estate also, we have been saying this again, umpteen of time, distribute the land amongst the people and take some of that billions of dollars, what you said, you're bailing out the estate, and give it as a starter to these workers so that they know that they have something to fall back on.
I'm a novice as it pertains to the agricultural sector, and particularly we're talking here about the sugar. But I saw this week in the paper that I think it's nine. They have budgeted, but the government has budgeted to bail out the sugar industry to the tune of $9 billion. They're saying that so far, just at the end of the first quarter, they have used 4 billion of that 9 billion. And I'm wondering, where is that money going? Where are all those billions of dollars going? Because if you, like you're saying, if you're taking the billions to fix machinery that you know you're not going to use based on your projection, why not take that money and rather than fix a damper or fix a boiler that you know you're not going to use, come up with a strategic plan and give that money to the sugar workers, even as you're trying to phase them out, you understand? So that they can have some kind of business, some capital to go into some other kind of business rather than throwing this bad money, throwing good money behind bad money, you know?
Yeah, that is quite true. But the government does not see it that way. I can't understand how our government thinks, and they does not care what the people see. The people put them there, but they're not listening to the people. They're not listening what the people want. They would not be able to carry out the people's word.
Okay.
You know, whatever the people say, they are not able to take it forward. So, you know, I can't understand if the people are your boss, because their money are paying you, the taxpayers' money are paying you. How can't you listen to them? You know, you are so big. You become just like the last administration. Nobody listened to nobody. You know, so what's the difference between this administration and the last administration? And mind you, I must tell you this too. Most of these estates are closing down. It was on the chopping block before they even take government.
You mean under the last?
Yes, under the last administration. Most of them was there to close down. So these guys, when they went in there, without considering it and think seriously about it, they decide to close.
Okay.
You know.
Doc, let's shift a little bit. You've been traveling a lot, and you've even had some vehicles that with your logos and stuff like that across the country. As you travel around, what is the sense? What kind of developments are happening as you travel Essequibo, Berbice, Linden, and so on?
I haven't seen any development, because what I have seen, many people are trying to what we call taking the easiest way out.
Okay.
Exit the country.
Okay.
Trying to sell what they have and leave Guyana, because they feel that there's no future in Guyana. I have several meetings with businesses, with ordinary people, and that's the cries all over. Even in Essequibo, I just came back from Essequibo. You know, that's a cry of the people. You know, they are so much frustrated. You know, like one of them telling me when I went in Essequibo, you know, the government are suggesting now we got to pay $25 a bag on paddy. Every bag paddy that they reap, they'll have to pay $25. What going on? That they can hardly make it with what they have, and now you're adding more and more, little of this, little of that. Where would they get the money to?
Well, what I heard, because we know that this current administration has added a number of taxes on different items that were not taxed in the past, and items that were taxed, they have gone up. The taxes have gone up. But what we hear in looming heavy now is that we need to, better days are coming because oil is coming. So well, we could don't jump on that yet. Don't jump on that yet. Before you jump on that, Doc, I want you to tell me, we have independence coming up this month here. I know you're anxious to jump on that. We have independence coming up the 26th. What are your views on in light of the ensuing celebration?
Pastor, what are we celebrating really on independence? We know everybody are proud to be self-governed, you know, to govern themselves. But in Guyana, what really are we proud about? Independence. You know, our people are suffering. Our people doesn't know where many of them doesn't know where they're getting the next meal from. Things are becoming, instead of getting better, it's becoming worse. You hear people are saying, man, it's better the white man may remain here and rule Guyana. We would not be in this position. All these kind of talk. What are we really celebrating? And this government, anything was celebration and sport, they jump on it right away. They will spend all what they have on that. They don't care what happens tomorrow. The people are starving. Before they take those kind of money, what they're celebrating that and try to fulfill some of these poor people need in Guyana. They decide to go and wine and dine and get it done. So I don't know what are we really celebrating at independence. What we are celebrating to tell them, what are our achievement in Guyana to celebrate? How much did we achieve? Our people are crying. Sugar estates are closing down. People are getting sick. They are wanting to know what happened, what it caused, what happened when the sugar estate closed down. More prostitution, broken families, broken homes. Because when the sugar estate closed down, the first thing people think they can't get a job around here. So they go in the gold mine. They leave their family 3, 4, 5 months. They got 5, 6 children, a home, a family. The mother may not be able to control them. Children grow wayward, and so
societal breakdown.
Terrible societal breakdown is happening because what is happening if two parents are not together? Children ought to go their own way. Sometimes, although they are together, they go their own way. What about if they are not together? And this is what will be happening here. Broken homes, because sometimes when the man gone in the bush, something will happen home. The wife end up with somebody else.
Wow.
And these are the kind of thing happen. So if we can't build a strong family, and this URP always said it, if we can't build a strong family, we cannot build a strong nation.
Beautiful.
It is impossible for building a strong nation.
Beautiful.
And this is why the URP always say about building strong families. We believe in that. We believe in keeping family together so that we can able to carry on a better relationship.
Right.
With our family and our government and our whole country.
It's a transition.
Yes, we're able to understand.
The strong family that will make the strong government.
Definitely.
Impact them. Doc, the Prime Minister talked about bringing the communications, about streamlining telecommunication, the print media particularly, not the print, the electronic media particularly. And they're talking about the government mandating that even the private television stations like the one we are on now, that they have to have a segment of their time dedicated to what they call public service announcement and so on. What's your take on that?
Well, if it's private industries, private investments, private television station, you are a government, you can't tell the private people that you have to give us certain amount of time. It is unfair for you to tell them that. You can ask them, but the way that they are going about it, it's a real dictatorial way. The same way that Burnham had been running this country, the same way they're coming back. How can you tell the television station, you have to give me an hour time? That this is mandated to you. This television station, they are paying already. They are paying a heavy license.
Okay, so let me play devil's advocate with you. Suppose they argue that the reason they're doing this, because you just talk about the need for the strengthening of family and the social strengthening of the society as a result of strengthening families. Suppose the government says, we are mandating this because we think that this process would help with bettering government or bettering the families and so on. Suppose they argue that it is to the betterment of the country for them to mandate that the television and radio stations give them this arbitrary time. How do you answer that?
If you go about and you tell me that, okay, The government are asking the television station to give them. It's a different story than telling them that you have to do this. You can't tell me that that's a dictatorial attitude. You know, you're charging me license, and also you want to tell me what I should do, how I should give you so much time, although you're charging me a license, and a heavy license.
Is there a precedent? Is there a precedent? Is what they're doing? Does it obtain in the free market in any other country? And me, you lived overseas so many years. Is this, and you dealt with television and radio and so on overseas?
I never heard this. I never heard this outside.
So
I never heard if you're going on a private television station, you have to pay for whatever you're going. For your government, you're what? They have to pay. If the television wants to give you a time on their own, that is their, priority, right? They can give you their time. But you can't come and tell these people when you're charging them so much license and telling them that you have to give us so much time. That's unfair.
All right, Doc, as we come down, and this was been a real heat, we're fast going half an hour here. Tell me a little as you travel, what are folks saying around the country as it pertains to the government and the PPP and so on? What is the word on the street as you travel around?
All over the place that I go, people are complaining. They're so fed up. They thought that they would be better off, and that is why they support the coalition, because they're hoping that they'll be better off. But they are no different. It's becoming worse and worse, right? Because businesses are closing down. Many businesses are thinking about selling out and go away. But people, they are not even buyers to buy, right? The same thing with the opposition, the PPP, because of the right thing they didn't do when they were in power, making all these things happen. So I will actually blame the PPP for everything that happened in this country, because they were in a seat where they should have fixed all these problems,
right.
And you didn't do it. Now you're crying. You're outside, you're crying that, okay, give me a chance, I'm going to do it. 23 years, you're going to do it, and you want to get back. It's the same thing with this government, the PNC. 28 years they were there. They tried to play a different kind of tricks with coalition. They go back inside, you see what's happening? So what do you think will happen when the PPP, if the PPP should go back? What do you think you will be able to achieve?
Doc, when we come next on our program, there are some things I would like us to talk about. I want us to touch a little on the Marriott. We'll talk about that, because you know that the Marriott has now a $1 billion repair bill, and it's not even 2 years yet. We also want to talk a little about the notion that the government is saying, look, we're going to tax you to the hilt, because when we get oil money just now, the squeeze is going to ease, right? So I want to talk a little about that and so on. But we run out of time. Any closing word to your audience, Doc?
I would just like to say to the audience that please listen what we are saying, if it makes sense or it doesn't make sense. There is time enough for you to change yourself. We have a saying that the dead fish go with the flow, and the living fish go against the tide. Please don't be a dead person. Please be alive. Wake up and smell the coffee. Wake up so that we can able to have a good future for our family, our children, our grandchildren, and great-grandchildren to come. And you will be proud of that, because your name will be sung in their ears. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you for joining us. Thank you for your time. Please remember to join us on www.urpguyana.com and URP Guyana, our Facebook page. God bless you. God bless Guyana. See you this same time, this same station next week. Bye-bye.